Trying to make this video during cicada season. We good? We're good. On June 11th, 1776, the Second Continental Congress appointed a committee of 5, which would write the Declaration of Independence. In this committee were John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, Ben Franklin, Roger Sherman, and Robert Livingston. This commenced just a few days after the Lee Resolution was introduced to Congress. Now, who the primary author of the Declaration of Independence would be came down to a vote, and it was between Ben Franklin, John Adams, and Thomas Jefferson. John Adams felt deeply that Thomas Jefferson should take the lead and be the head of the committee. Motherfucking cicadas. And he detailed his reasoning years later, decades later, in a letter he wrote to a friend. The letter went, "Though a silent member in Congress, he was so prompt, frank, explicit, and decisive upon committees and in conversation. Not even Samuel Adams was more so. That he soon seized up upon my heart, and I gave him my vote, and did all in my power to procure the votes of others." Oh, these cicadas. Now, John Adams knew that he didn't always rub people the right way. And he also knew that the Second Continental Congress lived in fear that if left to his own devices, Ben Franklin would absolutely write a joke into the Declaration of Independence that they would absolutely miss. The votes were cast, and Thomas Jefferson won out. Robert Livingston and Roger Sherman would refine the document and do some edits. Robert Livingston would unfortunately not be able to sign the document because he had to rush back to New York for an emergency. Franklin and Adams would help with styling and with editing. And Thomas Jefferson would write the document holed up in a room on Market Street in isolation for the next 2.5 weeks. Now, interesting side note is the house on Market Street was demolished in 1883. However, it was reconstructed in 1975, and it still stands today. 700 Market Street, Philadelphia. But back to Ben Franklin, our greatest president. The most notable adjustment that historians credit Ben Franklin with, the change from "we hold these truths to be sacred and undeniable" to "we hold these truths to be self-evident." This edit underscored the idea that America's independence was based in natural law as opposed to divine sanction. These motherfucking cicadas, man. The Lee Resolution was adopted on July 2nd, and shortly after that, they began debating and refining what would be the final draft of our Declaration of Independence. This went on from July 2nd to July 4th, when they adopted the final draft. The Declaration of Independence wasn't actually signed until August. And sadly, there were no identifiable jokes written into the Declaration of Independence by Ben Franklin. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, stay free.